Hi there, it's Claire from Come Back Brighter. I'm going to talk to you today about something that's really helped me recently when I've been feeling really down. I think there's something about this time of year that everything is a struggle. It's dark, it's cold, it's wet, it's grey, it's just after Christmas and just like tired and all the rest of it. Um, so what I've realized is that like I can get into the pattern where I can start to feel like just down. And then what happens is, what I've realized is the previous pattern in my life is where I feel down and then I kind of like continue on that pathway. So I'll feel down and then that will like attract more negative feelings. I feel like I'm a rubbish human being, and all these things. And then I start to isolate myself from people, and then I get social anxiety if I do have to go out to see people. And then that makes my social anxiety even worse because I'm not seeing people. So that's like compounding the issue. And basically what happens is I start to spiral, okay? And I've been here before and I've taken like months to come out of it. So so I know what the pattern is. I know what the beginning stage is of it. I know how it begins. So therefore, that means that I can change things. And I remember that a few years ago, I was feeling this way. I was feeling like the beginnings of it. And I thought to myself, wow, I have a choice here. And I know that it sounds like too easy. It sounds like such a kind of twee answer to it, but it really was. I had a choice. I could either indulge this feeling, and that would probably mean me going to bed, me getting depressed, me getting impatient with my family, like I said, isolating myself from everybody, and then it's just everything all piles in all at once. And I'd been here before and I knew what it resulted in. And I knew that at the end of 3 months, I'd have to claw my way up from the bottom of this black pit, and it would be exhausting and time consuming and really hard work to do it. And I thought, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be there again. I don't want to be there. So I literally made the decision to not indulge it. And the decision actually came down to, it was quite a simple decision. The decision was I could either just carry on with my day as I would do normally, or I could just go to bed. And I knew that if I went to bed, that would be the beginning of the spiral. So I stood at the bottom of my bed and I thought, I don't have to do that. I don't have to go to bed. I can just go and carry on with my day. So as I'm starting to share with you, I'm on this kind of beginning of a Christian journey. I'm a very, very new Christian in all of this. So I'm finding new ways to be. So this realization that I made was a few years before being a Christian, and it had nothing to do with anything. It was just, or certainly not anything to do with being a Christian anyway at that time. So what happened from that was life just carried on. I didn't isolate myself. I didn't go down into deep, dark depression. I didn't, you know, spend months at the bottom of that pit. I didn't have to claw my way back out of it. Okay. So, because of that awareness that I had previously, I've been in that similar situation again fairly recently over the last few months. There've been like all these triggers coming at me. The enemy's been coming against me very, very powerfully, which sometimes is kind of good because if I wasn't like a threat, he wouldn't bother, if that makes sense. So there've been a lot of issues that have been coming at me just recently. And I have no doubt that one of the biggest things was my dog died back in September, and that was devastating because he'd been with us through so much, and that brought up a lot of like grief issues. I don't think in a lot of ways, I don't think grief is like a one and done. I don't think you grieve and then it's finished and done. I think something else can bring it up. And that and it actually is like a bag of grief. It wasn't necessarily just grief around my dog, but it was the other things that I've grieved in my life, which is like, you know, going no contact and all the repercussions of all of that. So it kind of like, so that was like the foundation of all of it. And then I was in a place again where I had a really awful experience with somebody, and I literally was in bed, and I didn't want to go out. I was supposed to be going out. I was supposed to be going to church actually, and I didn't go. And my husband was off doing a training thing, so I just stayed in bed, watching TV with my son. And I lay there for a few hours, and I thought, I just feel like I feel rotten. I don't ever want to actually get out of bed again. And I was like, oh, right, hang on, I'm here again, right? Because it kind of sneaks up on you. It doesn't like arrive with like big bells and whistles and goes, I'm this thing again. I'm like depression here. I'm the beginning of the spiral. It doesn't tell you, and it isn't until you realize that actually you're there again, different circumstances, at a different time, you're a different person, things have moved on and you have changed, and you're there again. But it's realizing that's the key. So I was in bed and I just thought, oh wow, oh gracious, so I don't want to get out of bed. And then I was like, well, will I ever want to get out of bed? And that just can't happen. I just can't stay in bed. No one can stay in bed all the time. And so I thought, well, I have a choice here. So I did something. I came downstairs, I put some worship music on very loud, and I think I did some cooking. It doesn't matter what I did something in the kitchen, but the issue was that I put on worship music. And at first, it really jarred. I was like, I don't want to be hearing all this stuff. I don't want to be hearing this stuff. And I just was like, kind of being quite bad-tempered, I suppose, really. You know, doing my stuff in the kitchen, like kind of stamping around a little bit too, and just being annoyed, I think, by the worship music. But eventually what happened is that over a little bit of time, just, I don't know, half an hour or so, things started to change. And then I was just normal. I was just listening to, singing along with, and enjoying the worship music. And some of it were my favorite songs as well. So that's a really good thing, is to get your favorite songs in this. And what I realized is from that is that I'm not what I feel. And I think as scapegoats, we tend to feel we're really hard on ourselves, and we generally, I think we tend to think that we actually deserve to suffer and feel bad, and actually to get into that pit of like despair, of hopelessness, of helplessness. I think we feel like we deserve that. We scapegoat ourselves because we're so used to being scapegoated by other people, because it's not necessarily just our parents or our families. It will be other people that we've met too that reinforce that same pattern. And we think, well, I'm a bad person. I deserve this. I deserve to be suffering and to feel like crap and to be lonely and isolated and scared and feel like a bad person. I deserve all that. And it's never good, because it's a complete like life drain. It's a complete waste of time. But I want to share that with you because I think it's like a simple fix. You don't need anything expensive. You don't need to sign up to talk to somebody. You don't need to. It just involves like shifting yourself out of it in an easy way that takes no effort and it feels good. So I'm not saying, I think like to feel things is important, but it's like to like draw the line, right? So you feel sad, have a good cry, draw the line, move on. Okay, don't indulge these feelings, okay? Because you'll attract more bad feelings. So you get one bad feeling, and then bing, 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 all these other negative thoughts join that one, okay? And then that's what starts you the spiral downwards. You start to be like, oh, I should have said this thing to that person, and they said that thing, and it was a bit strange, and they weren't very friendly. And then that person said that thing. And then, of course, there's this thing that happened 30 years ago that also is still affecting me and I've not healed from. And it's like all the stuff coming in all at once. And that's the thing. And what I'm talking about here is like breaking the cycle. I'm talking about stopping that same pattern that you've gone through. Okay. So it'll be something that is like a trigger issue. It'll be something that you feel guilty about, something that you feel ashamed about. It will be one of those things that start it. And that's the key. It starts it. And that means you can stop it. You don't have to indulge those feelings. So what I suggest you do when you're in a good place, or even if you're not in a good place, just do this anyway. Do it right now. Don't put it off, because that's the other thing. Is like if you're putting these things off, you're distracting yourself with other things. That's what the enemy wants, because he wants you to suffer. He wants you to suffer. He wants you in that pit of despair. He wants you wallowing. He wants you feeling like crap about yourself. He wants you to be so sad. He wants you isolating yourself. So stop this video now and immediately go and find like 10 worship songs that you cannot help yourself but want to sing along to, that get you moving, that get you dancing, that have got a beat behind them, so that you can bring yourself out of this funk. Okay, because this is the time of year to be doing it. And actually what you could do is, maybe to counteract it, is to actually just have regular worship time. Put that worship music on, crank it up, dance around your kitchen, put it on when you're peeling potatoes, put it on when you're cleaning the house, whatever it is. Let it follow you wherever you're going, and let that be the energy that you're working in. Let God be the energy that you're working in. Let it be a good thing. You feel good, you feel happy, you feel loved, you feel grateful, you feel so good from doing it. And it's a really, really simple fix, and anyone can do it. So do that right now. Do your playlist right now so that you can go straight to it. Go, I feel a bit bad. I feel a bit sad. I feel a bit mad. I feel a bit frustrated. I feel I don't like feeling like this. Any feelings that you're uncomfortable with, just go and put on that worship music, and it will shift things round. Because for me, really, I like, not exaggerating this, that whole discovery between realizing that I have a choice about how I feel and a choice about indulging that feeling, and then making the link to go, right, so I'm feeling this way, I want to be asleep. See, again, the bed was the orientator. It was like the first time a few years ago when it happened to me, it was go to bed or carry on with life. And this time I was in bed and I was like, I cannot do this. I cannot rot in my bed. I cannot indulge these feelings, because I knew what was going to happen. It was going to be more and more and more and more. And the more I allowed it, the more it was going to bring me down and keep me down. So this for me is a life-changing. I cannot stress it enough. It's a quick fix. It's easy to do. So go and do that right now. And if you're feeling anything other than okay to good on the scale of how you feel, then go and whack on some worship music until it shifts and you feel better. You feel more positive. You want to be out there doing things. You want to be seeing people. You feel okay about yourself. You feel good about yourself. Then do it right now. And I guarantee you will feel better. Okay, I hope that this helps. Bye.